Big day in the news. It looks like Destiny will be finished with construction when the mall expansion is complete, which should take place in the next couple of months. Syracuse Mayor Stephanie Miner said today that the city will not help fund any further construction. Destiny developers say they will stick to the original pilot plan. That means the original idea of a large hotel, that's out. Phase 3 of an extra expansion or maybe redevelopment underneath the mall in the parking garage, that's also out, unless Destiny wants to privately finance that, and that's probably not going to happen. Talking to us today about this is Senator John DeFrancisco, and he says he doesn't want to say it, but an I told you so moment this ends up being that going back a good 10, 12 years ago, you were saying this is how you saw this working out based on the agreement that was reached.
That's correct. You know, everybody wanted economic development in this county, or we need it, and we needed it back then. But the amount of benefits given for this deal, and most of those benefits were provided just by completing the first 800,000 square feet, it made no sense. When I was on the city council when we approved the first pilot for the 15 years, and the idea was after 15 years they'd be paying taxes on something that wasn't generating any taxes. They'd have some shoppers come in, sales tax. What this did was give 30 more years on the existing mall, and with only the requirement to build 800,000 square feet. Now, there may be some benefits out of it, but it certainly is not worth the investment.
And you say you're not surprised today, Bob?
I'm not at all surprised. I believe that this was going to be how. I'm not surprised at all.
What went wrong along the way? Certainly this has been divisive to some degree in the public, but generally speaking, the community was sold on this, bought into it largely because of this big dream and all these renderings and drawings and ideas.
You know, like the goats on the hill and the Erie Canal going through the mall and all of that.
The golf course by Arnold Palmer, the concert, the arena.
Over the sewage treatment plant.
Right, that's right, the aquarium.
I guess the sewage gas would be, there would be a flag there for the first hole or something
would have been, sure.
But it sounds funny now, but it was bought because the developer came up with an incredible PR machine. The media picked up on it, and any politician that even thought of delaying the vote to actually reading the documents was going to be the one that's the death knell for this savior of our community. And so a lot of the public officials, the ones that voted on it, had substantial pressure, and those that criticized it were vilified in the paper, and which is fine, and on the electronic media. So a lot of the public officials thought this was the way to go because the public wants it. But if you're doing a deal, you ought to, if public money's involved, you ought to make the decisions just as if it was your own money. And would you buy into this project for if it was your money you're putting in? And I just think the hype may result in very bad decisions.
What do you think on the other side when they say that, well, you know, the oil drums are no longer there, you know, it has been developed?
That's great. It's just like you coming to me and the city council and saying, I would like to build an addition to my house, and I want to use my tax money to build that addition because that will provide me an opportunity to rent that space, and I'll have another tenant living here. They'll go to the stores and spend money. There are benefits, but the benefits are not outweighed by the vast amount of money that taxpayers are losing. In my estimation, $15 to $20 million a year for 30 years. That's what that mall would have been assessed at.
And then really, if you go back to when you were on the council, it ends up being 45 years of tax-exempt property.
That's exactly right. There was a quid pro quo when I was on the council. Give us 15 years, we'll build it, there's nothing there, we'll have this great mall, which we do, and after 15 years we're going to be paying taxes. Then when that tax bill came due, then all of a sudden 30 more.
Thanks, Senator. The lone voice at one time.
Well, Stephanie Miner was involved when she went on the council.
That's right.
So.
And she was not too happy having to announce this today, but also saw it coming, I think.
Yes, and she had no option because that's what the deal was written as.
That's right. Thank you for helping us understand it further and explaining some of the history behind it. Senator DeFrancisco.